everybody, my name's Stephanie if you're new here, and I am here to talk about my fall TBR. I'm so excited. Fall is my favorite season of all time. My birthday's in November and I'm just ready for the cool weather. My AC has been out for the past 2 months, which has been fun. So if I'm sweating in like the middle of this video, then just don't worry about it. I also live in Texas and I'm wearing a long sleeve. I'm pretty sure it's still 90 degrees out, but it's okay. I'm trying to fool myself into thinking that it's fall and it's gonna be nice, cool weather and like I can turn on the fireplace. We'll get there eventually. But for now, I can read things to make me feel like it's fall. So I'm very excited about that. I got some amazing books here. You'll notice that most of them are from my Book of the Month box. I absolutely love Book of the Month. Not sponsored or anything silly. But yeah, you'll just notice, you'll see their little logo in the corner. But yeah, get yourself some tea or some coffee and just cozy up and pretend like it's fall with me. Okay. So the books that I picked out, I separated them into categories a little bit. I only have like 4 or 5 categories, and this first one is going to be about horror books, hopefully. Okay, so the first book that I'm wanting to talk about is The Devil Takes You Home by Gavino Iglesias. So this is a book about a hitman who decides to do one final job, which is hijacking the cartel. So this is definitely very Hispanic heavy, very Mexico heavy. It even came with a translation book, so then that way if you don't speak Spanish you can still understand lots of the phrases that they're saying. This is supposed to be a horror, but so far the only mention of it is that he has nightmarish encounters that defy explanation while he's trying to do this job. And I'm pretty sure that this is supposed to be horror, but even if it's just about a hitman who does one final job, I would still read it. I'm so excited. I'm actually reading Blacktop Wasteland by S.A. Cosby, which is a lot like this because it's somebody doing one last bad and dangerous job to help somebody that they love. I think in this book he needs the money to help his sick daughter, and in Blacktop Wasteland he needs it to pay for everything basically, and to help his whole family because of poverty. I just love those types of books, like desperate people doing desperate things to help the people that they love. Even if this is not a horror, there's something about books set in Mexico or dealing with Mexican culture that just reminds me of fall. I don't know if it's because of like there's Mexican Independence Day in September and Dia de los Muertos in November, but Mexican culture always reminds me of the fall, but which might be stupid to say. I mean, like, Mexican culture is happening 24/7. I don't know, but I'm still gonna get into the fall vibe reading something like this just because it takes place in Mexico. I don't even need it to be a horror, but I'm pretty sure it is. We'll see. We'll read it and we'll see. Let me know if you know if this is horror or not. I would love to see that. I would be very surprised because so far the rest of it doesn't sound like it. Yeah, that's that book. And then this one is obviously horror, and it is Lisey's Story by Stephen King. I'm so excited for this. I think I had mentioned it in a TBR before, but I never got the chance to read it. So Lisey had recently lost her husband, who is a writer, and for some reason she has to go to the dark and dangerous place that he goes to whenever he's writing his books after he's passed away. It says she has to make a fatal journey into the place that terrified and healed him, could eat him alive or give him the ideas he needed in order to live. So this is going to be super dark and spooky and about writing. I love books about books, you know it. Like, that's just the best. Stephen King and I actually have a love-hate relationship going on here. I loved 11/22/63 by him, but didn't really love books like The Shining. Oops, but sometimes he just, I feel like he makes books big just because he doesn't want to edit anything out. Just my personal opinion, but hopefully this one is, I don't feel like that. Sometimes I'll get bored because he is going off on tangents that I don't really care about. But this one seems like it's going to keep my attention the whole entire time. And the summary sounds amazing. So I have high hopes for it. And I also have this beautiful copy that I found at a garage sale. And I may or may not read it from this copy, which would help motivate me more to get it read. Very excited. I don't know what the shovel means, but we'll see. We'll figure it out. So now this second category is just like dark, kind of mysterious books. And so this one is Small Angels by Lauren Owen. I don't know too much about it. I think it's a ghost story where this family is in charge of the ghosts that are in the woods next to where they live. And I'm pretty sure there's like something that happens where somebody didn't take care of these ghosts or whatever, and or they decided to move away instead of taking up the responsibility to help with these ghosts. And now they have to come back to that area with the woods because of a wedding. So there's ghosts, and there's a wedding, and there's woods, and secrets, and magic. So I'm very excited. I think this is going to be super cozy and spooky and eerie. Like, I hope that I can't sleep at night while I'm reading this one. That's the expectation I'm having. Yeah, next I have Book of Night by Holly Black. This is going to be my first Holly Black ever. I know everybody has read all of her young adult series, but I am not a young adult fan, even a little bit. It's fine. So this book is her first adult book, adult fantasy, and so that's why I really wanted to pick it up. I've heard lots of great things about her, obviously. And this is supposed to be a fantasy about being able to steal and manipulate shadows. And so people would steal other shadows to get power or to sell them to other people for money. And the main character was a part of that group that would do stuff like that. And she got out, but for some reason she has to go right back into it, and she finds out secrets about that, a secret that everybody wants, and she doesn't know who to trust, and there's murder, I think. It seems pretty cool. I'm sure that a shadow dark fantasy like this would be perfect for October. Then the next category is an author that I want to read during the fall, and that is Sylvia Moreno-Garcia. I recently read Mexican Gothic, and it was amazing. I think I read it all in 1 or 2 sittings, and it was so much fun and so fast-paced and so different than anything I'd ever read. And so I'm really looking forward to reading more of her books, and I know that these books might not be super fall related. I just think that her writing would be perfect for this. It's not anything super scary or anything like that. But this one, I think they still work. This one is a historical fiction mystery. It takes place in the 70s. That's a fun era. And in Mexico City. Also, I love her books because all of her books take place in Mexico. Which, like I said earlier, Mexico reminds me of the fall. I don't know why. You can judge me for it. It's fine. It's really good tea. So this one is a mystery about a missing person, and the 2 main characters, they are trying to find this person because I think that they go to school with her, and then they end up getting into very deep into some bad things. They come across hitmen and government spies and Russian spies, and it's supposed to like get pretty intense, pretty fast paced, and I'm super excited to get back into Sylvia Moreno-Garcia's writing. And I think that the 70s would be a really fun era to read from. So yeah. And then the next one I have from her is the daughter of Dr. Moreno. Moreno. This is the daughter of Dr. Moreau. This one also seems like a really cool time because this one is also taking place in Mexico in the 50s, I think. 1950s. I don't know why I think that. It just says 19th century Mexico. So it's in the 1800s. Very nice. This is a retelling of the old classic, The Island of Dr. Moreau. I haven't read that one, but I think I'm just gonna read the Spark Notes. I don't think I'm ever gonna, if I wait to read the classic first, then I'm never gonna get to this one. I already know myself. So I'll probably just read the Spark Notes if I feel like it. I don't want to put any pressure on this. But yeah, so this one is where Dr. Moreau is someone who created these hybrids who are part animal and part human. And it's, I guess now it's told from like the daughter's perspective, or I think there's multiple perspectives, but it takes place in a jungle on an island, and I think there's supposed to be maybe a romance. The inside flap kind of hints at it. It says there's passion. Passions may ignite. So that tells me that there might be a romance. And something wrong is going to happen with these hybrids. And I think it's going to be a ton of fun. Very, very excited. Okay. So my last category is historical fiction. I don't think that fall has to be full of spookiness and creepy books. For the months of September and November, you have to have something different. And I feel like these books would be perfect for reading by a fireplace and to just kind of make you feel all warm inside. And I love historical fiction. I never thought that I would be that kind of person, but the more I read, the more I fall in love with it. And so this first one I have is Wolf Hall by Hilary Mantel. It's been on my TBR forever, and it's a floppy book. It's my favorite. It's just so nice. The setting is England 1520s when Henry VIII is trying to get divorced so that way he can marry someone else. And that was during a time when what's it called? Where Catholicism, so the church and the state weren't separated. And so the Catholic Church made a lot of decisions, and they obviously didn't approve of divorce. But Henry VIII didn't care. And so he was going to separate their power so then that way the church can't tell him what to do, basically. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. It's been a while since I learned about all that stuff, but pretty sure that that's the setting. And so that's what's going on in the background, but the main character is Thomas Cromwell, who helps Henry break the opposition. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a character-driven book, which I'm super excited about. I feel like I haven't been in the mood for character-driven books in a while. I've been wanting more fast-paced, plot-driven books. So I'm really excited to get right back into this. These are the types of books that made me fall in love with reading in the first place, so I really want to get back to it. I think reading about England would be so... I've always wanted to go to Europe. So reading books set in Europe, I tend to read a lot of books set in Europe because I've always wanted to go, and I think it's such a romantic and beautiful place. From what I've heard, this is the type of book that I can just sink into and enjoy the characters and just have a lot of fun, right? Right. And then the last one is probably the one I'm most excited about. It's The Fountains of Silence by Ruta Sepetys. It's set in Madrid, Spain in 1957, where the dictator Francisco, what's his name? General Francisco Franco was an oppressive dictator during that time, and this is after the Spanish Civil War. And now that the war is over and everything, they still are under a dictatorship, but there's still a lot of tourists going to Spain during this time because they want to enjoy Spain or whatever, enjoy the romance of it, and completely ignore all of what's happening to the natives. The main character in this book also goes over there just to learn about his mother's birthplace, and he's really into photography, so he's hoping to take some pictures. And then he meets someone, it's like the veil is lifted and he can see what's really going on in the background and see how oppressed and miserable these people are. And so it's supposed to have love and war and photography, and it's supposed to be heartbreaking. And I think I really need that right now. I just need to have my little sad girl moment. I'm so looking forward to this. I might pick it up soon. Like I mentioned, I'm reading Blacktop Wasteland right now, but I kind of need to read another book with it. So I might pick up this. I don't know. I can't commit to that right now, but I'm so excited for that one. So those are the books that I have on hand that I really want to read. And there's also some books that I really want to buy, but books are expensive, especially new ones. Yeah, I really want to buy some books, but I haven't had the courage to press the buy button yet. And so that's where I'm at. They're just sitting in my cart, but I also wanted to give them a mention for just in case I do buy them. I do want to pick them up as soon as possible because I'm in a dark academia mood. I really want to reread the Secret History, but I also want to have other options and see if I can find something else that compares to it. And so I wanted to mention these books too. The first book that I really want to buy is If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. I'm just going to list these off. I'm not going to give summaries. The first 4 books are dark academia books. So the first one is If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio, and then The Latinist by Mark Prinz, and then A Lesson in Vengeance by Victoria Lee, and the last one is These Violent Delights by Micah Neveremmer, and that's not the one that is YA. This one's a dark academia book about murder, I think. So completely different. And then the last 2 books I really want to get is Babel and The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. I've heard so many good things about those books, or about that author, and so that's another author I really want to dig into, see if I'm interested. A military fantasy didn't really appeal to me, but I'm thinking there's so many good things that are being said about this that maybe I can just jump on the bandwagon. And I really want to read Babel because that seems to be more up my alley, but I feel like I just can't do one without the other, so I need both. I just need both. It's okay. Just throw them all in the cart. I think that's the last of my fall TBR. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please remember to like and subscribe. Support a small YouTuber, please. I would really appreciate it. And I hope you're as excited as I am to get into this fall weather. I'm so ready. So I hope you guys have a really great day or night or whatever time it is. And thank you for watching.